Okay, so I should have saved right when it gave us the checkpoint. Yeah, trial part 1. So now we should be immediately jumped into some opening dialogue. When I woke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last. One that I would remember for the rest of my days. The 17th of April, 9:32 a.m., the Old Bailey. Defendant antechamber. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So is your friend then? Sorry? You know, are in the fancy dress. Susato, I always say it. I don't know. Mrs. Soda had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You alright with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Mrs. Sato and I won't meet again. One day. Even so. But you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two. Oh, she brought the cat! Hi, Wagahai! Hi, Iris! Hi, Wagahai! You, kitty! How are you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep? Meow. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Maggie? Meow. Oh, cute kitty. Oh, there he goes. Ah, Maggie! Oh, great way to show your support, kitty. Let him have a nose around. What I'm gonna do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Bruno? Ginny? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. No, I'll always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? The bad news was a weather report? So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port. Gosh, yes. Alright, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon, so even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? Couldn't give a monkey's, really. If only all good news canceled out the bad. And look, this trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder, see? I like that. Well, let them say what they want. See if I care. I can't because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Bruno will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will. And then in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be... Discharged diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno? Oh, yeah, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. Today's paper has been entered into the court record. Today's paper, this morning's paper, purchased by Iris. Gina's case features prominently. Good luck then, Bruno. I'll do what I can. Huh? Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you more support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but... Thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well... I was wondering, is all about Sholmes. Did they fix him up alright? Yes. The operation was a great success, but apparently still hasn't come around yet. What? 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 Huh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up.
I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Susato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today, to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense. The trial's about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom.
It's time then.
Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris.
Lead the way, Runa.
Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from the start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that.
God, poor Yonosuke. His best friend fucking dies. He's being torn from his judicial assistant slash partner. Because, like, she says it's her role as judicial assistant, but, like, the relationship there goes beyond that. I don't ship them romantically, especially because I believe there's an age gap, but, like, in the emotional level of it, like, they're clearly so attached to each other. And now the guy who's been saving your ass has also been shot. Oh, God. 17th of April, 10 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. The trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zeeks, my lord. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Were there some circumstances which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today, you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are 2 types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large.
That means Miss McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago.
Yeah, I just about managed to work that out. Thank you. That means McGilded, if I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies, only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East. The Nipponese. What? Did he really just say that?
He means you now, Runo.
I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? The torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zeek's eyes? Was that directed solely at me? Or was he talking about all Japanese people? The racism! Hoo-wee! You know it's the UK! An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zeek. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all of London's malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial.
Hang on a minute. 4 of these people we've seen before. I mean, technically 5. I'm sorry. Man on the far right. That's the fucking insurgent. Oh god. Okay. Alright. The third person I think is the only person who's actually someone new, because I'm pretty sure the guy in the 4th seat, isn't that the old man who could barely hear us the other day? Okay. Alright.
Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant? Former lieutenant in the British Army here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready.
Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think.
Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it. I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have?
Woman indispensable to society. Stop. Female-centric future waits. Stop. Oh, the little mouse! He was reading it too!
Oh no. Okay. I gotta bring up the Russian accent.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Is something wrong, Bruno?
Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact.
Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know.
So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped. Very well. Now, Lord Van Zeeks, the court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Wonderbank, proprietor of a pawn shop in Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullets entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. Oh. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Autopsy report has been entered in the court record. A report prepared by the Scotland Yard coroner that confirms instant death due to a single bullet wound from the back. There are no other signs of trauma. And the crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. A photograph of the victim found murdered in the storeroom. It shows a single bullet wound in the man's back. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Winterbank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused were discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? She's one of those filthy drabs that live in the slums in the East End. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then. What are the jurors waiting for? The girl's guilty as hell. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. Oh, bring out the wine early. Okay. This is gonna be a long one then. My learned Nipponese friend. It is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pick purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. course, we'll take the floor pen and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zieks. At once, my lord.
Crime scene foil plan has been entered into the court record. A plan of Windibank's pawnbrokery, the scene of the crime, shows the relative positions of the main shop and the rear storeroom. Windibank's revolver has been entered into the court record. A gun belonging to the victim, Mr. Windibank, that Gina was holding when she was found unconscious. There are signs of a single discharge.
This isn't good.
I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Bruno.
I think that's because it has.
Ooh, cape off early, I see.
Let us begin. Bring forth witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windibank on the 16th of April this year.
These guys, I remember them.
Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is a baddie, professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's same as him. Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right, we're what they call the Three Skulkin Brothers. What are you looking at me like that for? Don't let me in with you lot. God blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through? It's our older bruv. Lost contact when we have, so we're scouring every shady corner of the capital. And then last night we come across you, the very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo? He is, Nash, he is. The very spit of him. So we decided there and then what he's gonna do. He's gonna call you. Big bruv Soaky. Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky skulking, and that's before he's run out of chips. Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you're doing in the witness stand. The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Oh, thieves are they, these three? No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't let me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle, and in the course of the nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence. Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed his proprietor's murder.
Oh, he's got a box. He's so fucking short.
Order! Order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gentlemen straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Happy to. Cause Skulkins never skulkin.
Okay. Sure, guys.
Get out of it.
Illegal entry.
Well, he's walking down Baker Street in small hours and the Gap store was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, it was. Once we got inside, court, blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, governor, we never took nothing, we just left after that, nice and quiet.
What a bold-faced lie.
A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel? Yes.
What's the matter, Bruno?
Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is.
As is a satanic tradition, press everything. Walking down Big Street in small hours, and the gaff store is ajar.
The front door of Windibanks was ajar, you say? What time of night was this? Must have been about 1. Right, Ringo? Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Sulky? How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. It was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Silky, me old mucker? Leave me alone. There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim. That is pure conjecture. Huh. Perhaps. But it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened. It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, it was. Hold it! What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in? That you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo? I do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often present itself as the whim of thieves, does it? Well, it weren't no whim, I'm dead sure of that. You weren't, Nash, you weren't. Like we said at the time. You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it. It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside.
They're not very good liars, are they?
Well, you can't deny it. Those two Boopa looks just like a bro. I said cut it out. Oh, soups are getting a chomping today. Once we got inside, cooler blind, we heard a gunshot from the back room. Hold it!
A gunshot, you say? Just the one. Are you sure about that? Yep, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that. He was? No, she was. Ain't that right, Buff? The firearm used belonged to the victim himself.
Yes, Mr. Windibank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter.
Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds.
That makes sense. Mr. Windibank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded.
That's true, I remember him saying that as well.
So you can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon.
Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Wonderful.
Want to see what was what? Well, the door was locked from the inside. Hold it!
Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom?
Objection, Your Honor. It's devastating to my case. Yep, exactly. Don't want to hear this anymore. Stop that.
If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that of the storeroom.
By the way, hello, Healbot. How are you doing today?
Cause there was only a little oil lamp burning, not much to see by. And the door was in by the curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Eh? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I think. Oh, well, your turn to rabbit, Ringo. Well, Nosh, yeah. I suppose you have to say that we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the former. Alright, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night. Thank you, counsels. So I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left it to that, nice and quiet. Oh, shoot. Nope. I hit space instead of Q.
What do you think about this power, Runo?
I think they're lying through their teeth. That's what I think. I'm gonna prove it. What is it, Iris?
Well, I'm not really sure. There's just something a bit funny about that prosecutor over there.
Huh? Wait, could this testimony be some sort of a trap?
Great, but to fall asleep, so that makes it 20 gaming. Oh, thank you! Falling asleep. You must be in a couple time zones ahead of me then. By a couple, I mean a few. Actually, before I finish pressing these guys, I should go through the court record real quick. We already had these. The guilty case notes. Case summary. Victim found deceased on the last scheduled omnibus of the day after a stab wound to the abdomen.
Oh, hello! Fairy, hi! How you doing?
Details of victim, Mason Milverton. Male, brickmaker, east end of London. Defendant, Magnus McGilded. Prosecution, Lord Baron von Zieg's defense attorney, Jonas Canado. Conviction was assured with through eyewitness testimonies. However, surprise fourth witnesses' testimony resulted in acquittal due to insufficient evidence. Okay. Is there no cheese monster? Cheese monster? What? What cheese monster? We've got a guy who's eating a bunch of fish and chips in the witness stand. Now, this morning's paper purchased by Iris. Gina's case features prominently. There we go.
Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder. How awful for Ginny, I mean.
But tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Diver is Topless Do-Gooder, right?
Yeah, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger.
Bigger? How?
Proud pickpocket protects planet post-trial, perhaps?
Protects planet?
You know, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's gonna be so great.
What a dork.
Is this also part of that? Yep, it is. I accidentally ate cheese and all the cheese is turning into cheese monsters. Oh no, are you lactose intolerant?
There's a sensational story lowered down from the front page as well. Look! Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice.
For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of the world news.
It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they're being intercepted by hostile nations.
Communications are being intercepted, but how's going to be doing that?
That's the question, isn't it? I come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Bruno?
No, of course not. I wonder, perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday.
Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Greg's running from a pillar to post at the moment.
Interesting. Alright. That's good to know. Oh, you're joking, I was just making all this up. Oh! Oh, I had no idea. Oh, well, sorry about that. I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Report prepared by the Scotland Yard. First instant death due to seal blow into the back. No other signs of trauma. Coroner Dr. Stevens. Detailed victim. Pop window bank male. Pawnbroker on Baker Street. 16th April 1 to 1:30 a.m. Reporting party. Brunoski not hotel. Post-mortem fighting. Single bullet wounds in upper half of victim's back. No other visible signs of trauma. From the background gently rising. Yeah. Your plan worked. Yep, you got me. Okay, let's see. The photograph. Yeah, we're already expecting that. Woof, that's a nasty bullet hole. Okay, nothing special here. The floor plan. Yep, nothing special here. The gun!
This is Mr. Winnemag's gun. The cylinder is completely empty.
Mr. Winnemag always used to keep his gun to hand on his shop counter. Yes.
Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand.
That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in his care safe.
But as one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe?
Let's see. Anything else we can examine? Yep, same thing. Any blood? No? Okay. Question for you, you're drawing for a friend for a future birthday. Oh, that's exciting! Happy early birthday to them. Are you planning on doing anything for the birthday, or are they not like available that day because they've already got plans? It's press this time, not space.
You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story? Oh, it was by them as soon as, weren't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull my dukes out my Lucy lockets. So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say. That's right, Governor. Nothing we ain't more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers. No, Nash, we aren't. Never even pulled my dukes out my Lucy lockets. So you'd clearly like us to believe. Hey, come again. As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? Oh. And did you not fire a gun at that person? Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say? Oh. Blimey, Governor. You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway? It was. What the bleeding Laura? Didn't you mention that before? You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes. They shot the great Mr. Sholmes. I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to the hospital. The great Sholmes must be on the pale.
Let's see. It's a long way, and you're planning to draw them. They're drawing us, and then so they can buy a Switch. Oh, that's exciting. I'm sure they will have an excellent birthday then. That's so sweet of you. Do you know what games they've been wanting to play? Well, Luigi and Mario. The kind of, yeah. Or maybe I guess a better comparison is like Luigi and Mario, because they're in green and red, right? But I guess they're criminals. Maybe it should be Luigi and Mario.
On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. The Skulkin brothers' gun has been entered into the court record. A firearm found in possession of Skulkin brothers upon their arrest. There are signs that a single round was fired. Single round. Ooh, that hurts us. Second to last line. Let me just examine this real quick. So there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of this revolver's 6 chambers, or cylinders.
Yes, which is that only a single shot has been fired from it.
Exactly.
The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it?
Yes, it happened almost as soon as we walked in through Windbank's door.
I'll make those brothers pay.
Uh-oh, she wants vengeance. Give this girl blood.
Okay, just a normal gun otherwise. Help you a lot when you're down doing stuff, and I remember they mentioned playing Mario Kart before as a birthday gift and a thank you gift.
Oh, that is so sweet. I'm sure they'll love it then.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been getting so much excellent DLC. Like, all of the tracks they've been putting out have been lit. I'm sure they'll love it.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet's missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there. However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. The defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim. We shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windibanks that night? The court demands that all claims are from with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker shop that night?
Isn't it the gun itself? Oh, no, because, hang on. Oh god, send help. Let me check the binder, because there's nothing... Yeah. Well, this does have that image of the... No, but that was like that when we walked in, wasn't it? I swear, that bullet was already in the calendar when we walked in. Oh, fuck, I don't remember. Sholmes wasn't anywhere near enough to this calendar for that to count, was it? Ah, fuck. I will try the blood samples portfolio.
Take that!
The evidence is in this portfolio. Oh, what on earth do you have there, Counsel? During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of blood stains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trying to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Oh, well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and record the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein. Yes, my lord. No more darling then, Counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves the witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? Oh, I was already on it.
Take that!
What is that? Explain! It's a photographic print taken at Windibank's pawnbroker on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that? A bullet hole! If my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Miss Windibank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right, and while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbroker's that night. Yeah! Order? How's the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks?
Yeah, take a little sippy.
If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? Whoa! There it goes. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes. On the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbroker illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup. We had a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Zorky. Set the bulk straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem, now, that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks? As has been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windibank at all. So that's it.
Oh god, they got a little handshake.
Guys said we didn't have nothing to do with it. We didn't, Ash. We didn't. That's what I reckon. The crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let's not forget, attempted murder. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas? We're in for it now, bro. Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It would seem the men patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who?
Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh, that's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the evidence on the night in question.
Oh man, are we going that far back? That's a whole lot of nothing.
As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer to the court, the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. You see, these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help with the anticipated thief conducted his activities among the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. Hey, that's a bit of Friar Tuck here, bro. Hey, luck loves skulking. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin? It must have been just after 1. Right, bro? Must have been, Nash. Must have been. Yeah, just gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Good lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade!
Gina. Oh no.
As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quiet? Quite. One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel. The photograph of Gina has been entered into the court record. Photograph taken automatically by the red-handed recorder, showing the scene a short time before the murder took place.
I don't believe it. Ginny?
In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windibank.
Oh, this sounds like a summation examination time, so let's just examine this.
Cat. There it is.
What, that is the revolver you don't see on the counter. It's clearly in her hand. Indeed. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty bad. Ooh, Gina.
I say, my lord. What if I might put in a word at this point? Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a volley bullet to the knee in the Battle of Mine 1 to 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. It's over. Not yet, not yet. I know what they're gonna vote, but not yet. Of course, Mello can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now leading this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. And we'll all go down together, you mark my words, one for all, not for one. The
thought this was a death game.
Fairy, have you not been here for the other cases?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you're coming in like literally right in the middle of the 5th case, which is like the big climactic one of the game. Oh no.
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? The man is speaking, yes. That is the Gerda's court's position, sir. What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here. Sounds report for the court, men on the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions too.
I think you'll find the truth as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it. I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember. Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop. I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Never played this game before or seen them play it. Oh, okay. Let me give you a brief summary. So basically, we play as a defense attorney trying to solve mysteries and prove people innocent in court of the various crimes they've been convicted of, charged with. 9 times out of 10, it's a murder case. Yeah, and so this time around, there is a little pickpocket. She has been charged with the murder of a pawnbroker after she broke in to try and confirm the presence of a pawned item in the shop. And it's looking real bad because of all this evidence as you've seen play out. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter, and announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
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 Not a problem, Fairy. It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already.
That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Ginny didn't shoot him!
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to summation examination. Very well. The court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
Judicial findings.
The jurors' contentions. All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt of this young pickpocketier. Is that how you say that?
As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in the stereo, the truth will just pop out. If I have left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop. And motherland we say never judge by clothes, judge by hand. I'm convinced brothers are innocent. Circumstance of the crime, the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone, and in the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by the witnesses. Not to mention this print. Thank you very much, accuracy in action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the bullet trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh dear, Hurley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder.
I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. Which means there's more to the situation than we've yet to see.
Agreed.
You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm always happy to receive compliments on my voice acting. I put a lot of effort into it.
Wait. Oh my god! If you look in the corner here, you can see the short guy. They took away his box. You can barely see him. Oh, I didn't notice that until just now. That's so fucking funny. Okay. Ace Attorney tradition. Press everything.
Hold it!
Also, the person holding the gun doesn't have the same color as the pink-haired lady. Yes, yes, they are not related. The girl in question is an orphan. The defendant is an orphan from the slums. Her name is Gina Lestrade. She's a pickpocket. She had broken into the pawnbrokery because the girl in pink, the girl with the pink hair, she is the basically adopted daughter of Herlock Sholmes, or Herlock Sholmes, because they can't use Sherlock Holmes in the setting. So she's essentially the adopted daughter of Sherlock Holmes. Fuck. I get the names mixed up now. And she had one of her stories deposited at that pawn shop because he said for some reason it was too soon to print it. There is something important in that story, but he didn't identify what. So they put it in there for safekeeping. Gina didn't believe him. And so she broke in to try and prove that he was lying to Iris, the pink-haired girl, because she doesn't trust adults, having grown up an orphan where you can't trust anybody. And that's what led to this whole situation where she broke in, presumably threatened the guy to let her in there and search through, and then somehow the man was killed. We don't know how yet, but somehow he was killed. The two are very good friends, Iris and Gina. Iris has grown quite attached to her ever since Gina stole her smoke grenade launcher. Short King continued to be oppressed. I guess, I'm like 5'2.5" or something, so it's like, I guess can I join the Short King Club? Right, let's see.
You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garrett, aren't you? Really must stop meeting like this. I, the lawyer chap. Well, there's a turn up for the books. Yes, rather a turbulent time we had back then. Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything. Oh god, stop bribing him! Can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Garrett house was the talk of the town after that business. Well, just moved out and I couldn't get a bully soul to take up tenancies. Oh. I haven't had the heart to break the news to Johnny yet. Bad enough that the old girl's clapped up. Yeah, can't be denied, you did do rather a lot. But not for us, that's for dashed certain. I suppose not. Of course. There can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously. Obviously, but honestly, I really wish you'd pay more attention to the trial and less to juror number 2.
As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyes was promptly and rigorously eliminated.
Hold it!
Polishing the bench, I see, again.
A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain.
What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores?
On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpockets, and crossmen, the scum of the earth.
A little harsh, perhaps?
Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals.
You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
That's right. I like to keep abreast of the exploits by reading Rad's magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital.
Mr. Sholmes, a maid?
It's really quite unforgivable. The gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective.
Minor detail, it was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Sholmes, not the defendant.
A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway.
Yes, alright, I shall amend my statement. Those brothers that scum of the earth, they should swing for shooting the great detective.
Oh god. Don't put her on the jury for their trial.
Hold it!
I hate poor people. Yeah, that's really what you're saying.
I agree with you, the shooting of Sholmes was an unforgivable act. But the purpose of this trial is to determine who shot the pawnbroker, Mr. Winterbank.
I'm afraid you're splitting hairs, sir.
Sorry?
Whether it was the thieves or the pickpurse, it was still gutter trash that shot the pawnbroker in the end. Filth that should be cleaned up and eradicated, in my considered opinion.
Thanks so much for sharing. Changing this maid's mind isn't going to be easy.
I know. It was one of those two brothers that shot Hurley, wasn't it?
Yes, without question.
Well then, I'll never forgive them.
Oh, Iris.
Perhaps we can use this maid's statement to help us somehow, do you think?
Yes, maybe. Let's listen carefully what each juror has to say first.
I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph of stereo, the truth will just pop out.
Hold it!
What do you mean, look at the photograph in stereo? Sorry? What? Don't you know? If you look at the photograph in print normally... Looks as though the pickpocket girl is about to shoot the victim, obviously.
Objection!
But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Ooh, how did you know? Let's call it a lucky guess. Never gets old seeing two prints merge into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary, it's captivating, it's the height of modernity. Of course. Oh yes, the thing about the stereoscope is here to stay, giving us new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. If I have left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now. Oh, no, gotta go back.
Hold it!
What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere or something like that. So sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon. A surgeon? That totally passed me by. Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors. Oh no. Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field. So, what is it that you think you left behind? Oh, well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing, went in through the abdomen. But when I'd finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere. What? Did he? Surely not. Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really. That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter. That's exactly my concern, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure. I'm sure you need to be more sure.
I made up. Stop. Global radio transmission alert to follow. Stop.
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean?
Are you from the Far East? Stop.
Yes, from the Empire of Japan.
All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. Oh, but now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds connecting the entire world.
Thousands of miles of cable? On the ocean bed? It makes my head hurt just thinking about it. Yeah, well-informed young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. Just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to the four corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Alright, you. We're gonna pursue you.
Excuse me.
Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on. I dare you. Goodness. Are you talking to me? I think you just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh? Absolutely. I mean, really, a machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions. Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon. I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm also going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you never even noticed before. What?
Have you got any, Bruno? Any prints we could look at with a stereoscope?
Have we been given?
Yeah, you could look at this one.
Absolutely.
How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can! Okay, well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all. Oh, but we don't have a second one.
Do we? No, we don't. I guess it's some sort of dialogue we must have had to have triggered.
Take that!
Wait, sorry? What do you mean, one more print? Oh dear, don't you have these in the Far East? Don't you know how a stereoscope works?
Bruno,
What?
you need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember? You know, one for the left eye, one for the right.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. But the print we have from the pawnbrokery is just a normal photograph. Oh, no. I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's a stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints. Thanks for the friendly explanation.
Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we can always show it to this young man then.
Ah! I think you'll find that know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me. Let's get things back on track, shall we, Council?
I use a shop slightly different location. We can see the scene in 3 dimensions. Past you. And we'll go to you.
In Motherland, we never say judge by clothes, judge by head. We say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brother already said. Please tell me you're not Villain Bolshevik. The Russian revolutionary? Revolutionary? Duh. I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor. As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal. Your words, not mine, just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat.
And which glove fits?
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Right, that didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts. To be treated like vicious criminal all the time, it is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look. The Skulkin brothers. That, maybe they went inside pawnbroker's shop. But they have done nothing wrong? That is all I want to say. The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night? Alright, well, first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something, Iris.
What is it, Bruno?
The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they?
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it?
In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary?
I wish I knew.
If I can't change the minds of more than half these 6 jurors, the trial will be over.
We know that Ginny would never shoot anyone.
Yes, so we need to find contradictions of what these jurors are saying and put them against each other. I must be ready to go to whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence.
Alright, so then we can pit you. Whew, sorry about the yawn. Ooh, sorry about that. Have some water, maybe a little bit of flesh to wake myself up. First, we're pitting these 2 against each other because we're clearing up that they shot Holmes. Or Sholmes. There we go.
Objection!
These two statements clearly contradict each other. Oh, good lord! Counsel, explain yourself.
My statement contradictory.
Contradict, C-O-N. Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick, I have mouse.
It is a cute little mouse. I love it so much.
As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver.
Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand.
Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. Abdomen? Abdomen. A-B-D. Sir? Sorry, my English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear? Forgive me, I did not hear. Here is word abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English. I am Russian, not a native speaker. Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again?
Little mousy boy.
So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying. They said before, we never done nothing. But truth is, they shot detective. That is a double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by a person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means, when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough, I trust no one now.
The poor mouse, he's getting so squished.
It's not the mouse's fault though, sir. I must see with own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Yes, it is, Bruno, easily.
Sorry?
Like the print from Hurley's red-handed recorder.
Ah,
If you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey?
who's Cooey?
Or is that just a saying? Is that a British thing? Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor!
Tut. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight.
So this was taken after Harley was shot then? As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken.
That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So, the brothers who look like criminals told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right, I did not understand the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial. That was simple.
Hey, well done, Bruno! The balance is shifting!
Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we just might turn the situation to our favor still. Oh, thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photograph print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. The post-shooting photograph, a photograph taken automatically by the red hand recorder, showing the scene after the murder had taken place. Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that.
Yes, we can.
Wait. In lake of lies are many dead fish. We must find truth. Therefore I say not guilty.
Alright. So then I hope if I press you, I can actually... Can I see the difference? I don't think I can. It looks really fucking similar. pen's in the same place as the notepad, the cat. Yeah, even the books are in the same place it looks like, in the very far back. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, you there, lad. Let's press and hopefully that gets us the thing.
Can it really show up new clues though?
Don't know unless you try.
How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are something you can use with any two suitable prints? Of course I can. Alright, well then, like you demonstrate.
Be like, dude, just give me one more print.
Take that!
Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera in Winnebank's on the night in question. Oh, yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Yes, I do. Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. Left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the positions of some objects. Then, when your brain merges the 2 images together inside your head, it notices a shift as if it were depth. Oh yes, exactly!
It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures that's really important.
So what happens to these 2 photographs that are exactly the same then? Oh, no, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene 3-dimensionally anyway.
Oh! Of course, now I see!
Ah, I think young girls discovered the secret!
I have! Crossed eyes.
Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me?
Have another look at these 2 pictures from Harley's camera, Bruno. Go on. Can you see there's really an obvious difference between them?
No. There's a chair. Is it the chair that he was standing in? Or standing in front of? No, I don't think so. The curtain's not different. The clocks are the same in the background. Hang on, let me try crossing my eyes and see if that gets it working, because I've been looking at them one at a time and it's not doing anything for me. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I think I did find it. I didn't have to cross my eyes. Yeah. The stuff in the back. The stuff in the back is further on the desk than after 30 minutes. Something happened to the desk. I think. Yeah.
Can you see there's a really obvious difference between them?
Of course there is. There are 2 people in the first and no people in the second.
Well, yes, you can see that straight away. But now, try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions.
Alright, I'll give it a go. So to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the 2 pictures overlap exactly.
Can I get it to overlap if I try crossing my eyes? Hang on, give me a moment.
Ooh, that's making my eyes hurt. Okay, never mind. I'm not doing it. Nope, no thank you. Let's see if I cross my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Wait.
Well, did you manage to see it properly, Bruno?
Not the 3D thing, but... What's going on with these 2 pictures?
Oh, hello! Good morning! How are you doing today?
Some of the things on the counter they sort of jump out at you.
I was seeing the judge cross-eyed for that one flash, and then seeing Venzeeks using the proper device. Oh my god.
Yes, that's it, you see. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Other amazing power?
Getting to see all these models go cross-eyed.
Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? All I do see some of the things on the counter seem to jump at you like that, huh? I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope? As I said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift in the positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions.
Game's as silly as ever. Yes, it is. Just getting up.
Oh, you're West Coast, right? So you got to sleep in today. That's good. Yes, there must have been.
Now, all fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does that shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What? Me? I haven't the first idea.
No, Bruno, it's quite simple.
It is?
Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken, but the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means...
That means that sometime in a half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Soakers!
What the fuck is Sookers?
Someone tampered! New information, stop! Not mentioned in testimony so far, stop! Working a mid-shift. Oh, that's great. I love mid-shifts. Well, I should say loved, because you don't have to open, you don't have to close, you just have to sit there, do your thing, and then you can go home and relax. The best shift be working if you're ever in retail. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems, but I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who's responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter.
Is that you're allowed to send Morse code about the trial?
I guess she is, because nobody stopped her so far. It's you, Edgar Benedict.
Young English gentleman with an aloof and high-handed manner, he appeared at the Winterbank's pawnbrokery, accusing Gina of stealing his redemption ticket. Never figured out what the fuck his real name was. It's one of these two.
Take that!
He was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers. Wait. This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrasebook says dukes is meaning hands, and Lucy Lockets is meaning pockets. But is this another lie? Is that what you are saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Hold on there a minute, you can't be sure of that.
I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on deck to see what she might steal.
I think that's unlikely. And why exactly? As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Winterbank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interest lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony.
But the accused is a pick purse. Common gutter trash. We're looking further for the wrongdoer here.
Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact, worse than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shaky pair.
Oh no, he just slammed his head into the thing. Oh god.
Can you all see now?
I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand.
We're 3 for 3, we just need one more.
Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop.
There we go. We got our one.
Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus, and I order this trial to continue.
Yay, well done! Oh, by the way,
What?
you should hold on to this, Bruno. You never know when it might come in useful.
Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely, but alright.
Stereoscope has been entered into the court record. A fold-up device allows anybody to enjoy seeing things in 3 dimensions simply by looking through the eyepiece.
Lord Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord.
I think Iris is taller than that Skulkin brother. Because she actually goes like above the stand. She doesn't need a box. A 10-year-old girl is smaller than a grown man.
For myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent.
Ew, a checkpoint. We'll take it. Let's see. Down here. Trial part 2. Excellent. Oh, no, we've already saved.
Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand.
They're sweating bullets.
I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination. Yeah, Governor. I did, I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. God, blimey! This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windibanks. Oh, it was Bedlam soon as, weren't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes up my Lucy lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers... God blimey! On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We haven't done nothing of the sort. How'd you figure that out? You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, go we ya. We'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll peach.
Illegal entry, the whole truth.
Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, see, made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. I mean, he didn't have to give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scarpered straight into him back. Into him in the black. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see, we never even had a chance, did we? Soon to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windibank's countertop on the night in question. I not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah. Oh, sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. Why you say it? We hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash. We don't. Can you make us sound a bit more cutthroat? Can't just be a coincidence that these men showed up at Windibanks that night. There is more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it.
I know that they're supposed to have like the shadows of their hats be like, oh look, it looks like burglar masks, but it just makes me think of raccoons every time I look at them. Cause they got the big old eyes, and then like the mustache kind of helps them look like a little bit more animal-esque. They just look like raccoons to me. Eventually, the whole truth.
We did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash. We ain't. If we admit to something like that, people think we was up to no good. Instead of Ringo me old China, we only landed ourselves in more trouble. And in fact, now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Land yourselves in even more trouble. It's rotten luck. Says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right. More like we tied the place up. Sorry. Scaring them into compliance. We appreciate it. That's when we heard the gunshots. Seaman's both jumping, all that stuff went flying. So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much, you knocked all those things off the counter. Well, chucked one of us that much. Yeah, it's bag on nerves, needs to learn to keep his shirt on. I think it was loud, alright. Blimey, me that granny would have woken up at that bang. Big brother ears. Big?
Oh my god, is the shorter one the bigger brother? Older brother, I mean? Sheesh. Okay.
Big brother ears screamed like a boom baby, fell over on the counter. Knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot.
I got tangled in some marionette. We knocked over a picture frame. We knocked them scales on the floor.
You've really mastered working quietly then. What a racket! My granny would have been scared back into a grave in a clutter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then someone made it was quiet enough, and all of a sudden, BAM!
Excuse me.
Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony. You seemed to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. Wouldn't even bother to mention it, only... Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. The statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. Did it? You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have. Does ring a bell now you mention it? Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. Can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas?
If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them.
Easy. I will get it right this time. That's it. Yep. It's all coming back to me now. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Right you are, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yell out, "Give me that gun."
Oh, hello, Lamb. Welcome. How you doing today?
Hold it!
So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously. We did, Gov, we did. Although, I suppose if you're being Honest, we ought to kind of waver in voice before the yell and all. Hey, if you don't want to get shot, give me that gun! Bam! Kind of thing. A career in acting tragically missed.
Pretty good? Nice. Glad to hear that everybody's having a good Sunday.
And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Of course we could. From the other side of that door behind the counter it was. From the storeroom where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Winterbank. On my granny's life, of course it was. On his granny's life, of course it was. So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Winterbank in the sound of his voice. Huh? So that mean what? What? Nash, what? Any ideas? Yes, Counsel, indeed it would. No. We didn't know the geezer. I'm not supposed to deny when that bloke in all the fancy club was giving us the evil eye. If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. On my granny's life it is. Oh, on his granny's life it must be. It's a good job his granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor. Yeah, make it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget we tied up after that, like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it. The bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so you should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl.
Hold it!
Sorry? You're saying that Mr. Winterbank had a gun in his hands? Oh yeah, but that was a sight, eh? I'm two waving them guns at each other. Must have gotten pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, we heard the geezer say, if you don't want to get shot. I didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Winterbank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People said that to protect the articles in his keeping, he readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. That someone being himself, of course. Good grief! Extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was going to shoot beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper. I bet he wished he squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun!" It was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot? It's more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun! Bam! Kind of thing. Yep, a career in acting, very tragically missed. We heard the sound of someone hitting the deck. Before everything went dead quiet. After that, we stood on a slapdash job tying the place up.
I was thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next. Honestly, we can just present. I know we normally do press everything, but we can just present here. He wasn't holding a gun, she was. Would that be... I thought we had a photo of it, but maybe we just... Now I'm doubting myself. Gina was holding when she was found unconscious there. Well, this says she was holding it, and he wasn't holding a gun. Okay. Let's try this. If I take a penalty, I'll take a penalty.
Objection!
Oh, fuck, I take a penalty.
Let's just consider the implications of that statement for a moment, shall we? Alright, let's keep pressing. What implications, Counsel? Nothing strikes me about it. Exactly, there's nothing striking about it. What does strike me is your propensity for the inane, however. I need to clear my head and come at this again from a different angle.
Maybe it was the wrong statement. No, hang on. There we go. Everybody's saying, "Oh, give me that gun." So far, I have to go. Yeah, let's just go through it.
So you didn't try to open the storeroom door then?
You're on to no thing.
Yes, that was completely up the wrong alley. Oops. Not on your life. It went deathly quiet after that, it did. Put the wind right up me. By the way, door was locked in, weren't it? No way that was opening. Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside, or so we even led to believe. I was good if it was from the inside. Right, we had no way to know what was going on there, did we? Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps. Don't ring no bells, don't light no lights. We had to cut around before we noticed anything like that. We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? One day. We'll really cut the mustard. Please, cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was a victim's lifeless body with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. Gina was in there unconscious with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom? That's right, Gov, that's right. I couldn't have even if we wanted to. Stuck everything back where we found it and scarpered straight into him in the back. Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Horlock Sholmes. It was a bit hasty there. It was not, who was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up.
If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand.
Good advice, miss, good advice. Truth be told, I went totally blank.
If your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand.
I meant to note made, miss.
Up to that, we looked it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or something, so they clapped the derbies on us like a Lincoln.
And after you'd been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct? Oh, well, yeah. But listen, that proves it, doesn't it? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never had a chance, did we? And why should we believe that? Well, because it's true, innit?
Our place was totally empty when we went in.
At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Winterbank. Correct. You got it, mister. Down to your tea. So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Winterbank. Is that really true, I wonder? That's it. That's the full extent of the testimony.
What is it, Bruno? You look very fierce. I can pour you some apple tea if you're tired.
Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh. But I feel as though those brothers are still hiding something important. It's nothing more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it.
Well, feelings can be very logical at times.
Sorry?
People's expressions, the movements of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why, that's all. I think you should trust your instincts.
Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5.
Let's see. Heard a voice called out, give me that gun. Look at him was holding gun, so he should just fire instead of yelling at the girl. Was I perhaps supposed to use the photo of him dead on the ground? Because they keep acting it as if he was being shot from the front, but he was definitely shot from the back. It's listed in the testimony and everything, but they didn't actually say he was shot from the front. They just acted it that way. I get the feeling this is the statement I need. Because, like, they're being very specific about, like, he was holding a gun. Let's try this print and see if it does anything.
Objection!
It was the print, not the gun. Oops. Alright, hang on. Let me choose some fudge. Okay. Alright, snack obtained. Not obtained, but had.
So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winterbank, was wielding a gun? Is that correct? That's it, Gov. You got the picture? Yeah, there's no question. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winterbank was not holding a firearm of any description. Hey, you what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection.
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Winterbank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that Multula used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun! Bam! Kind of thing.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are. Right there! Hey? If the crime had taken place as you've so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable insignificant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments?
We need the autopsy report. Bam.
Take that!
According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Yaga! But it's the God's honest truth. It is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night, the shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Winterbank holding a gun. Something like that might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you've all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash, yeah. Order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once! Well, the thing is, if it weren't supposed to, it would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruth of your original testimony with renewed lies? I'm so sorry, Governor. Chief is cut it out, Nash, cut it out. Good blob now, you know what it'll do to us. He? Who are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you. Oh, bruv, come on, the game's up. But I'll have our guts for garters. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Well, do we have to? On pain of death. Yeah, I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth.
Encounter with the victim.
Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and he did sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it. For no geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through the door into the back room. And if I had nothing to do, kill him. That's all what happened, I swear. Interesting.
That changes the timeline of the events pretty clearly. She threatened him to let her in, and while she was in the storeroom, he heard that he was being burgled. So he immediately disarmed them. Well, not disarmed them, but he roughed them up and then, like, locked himself in the storeroom. That still leaves him and Gina in there. But that does leave the opportunity open for, in the panic, maybe there could be a fifth person that snuck in somehow. Interesting.
So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry. Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time, Nash, we ain't got nothing more to hide. Very well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The one I've been waiting for.
Encounter the victim.
Right, so we just got inside the gaff and needed a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Winterbank. Who else? That's right. We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously, but we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that. The back room being pawnbroker's storeroom. Yeah, that must be where he popped up from, the only place he could have been. So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises.
Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well.
But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had thrown Mr. Winterbank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you see the cues at that time? I'm Moltooler. I couldn't tell you. Now wake up, but we had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. Give me that gun, you bold. And then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Winterbank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Oh, well, yeah. Was the victim Mr. Winterbank wielding a gun at the time? Was he ever? Blimey lummy, a great ugly barrel he had, pointed straight at me from his piece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Winterbank with the gun at the time, is that right? It is, Gov, it is. Spot on. And all of a sudden, it came at us, he did. It was bedlam. I didn't know he was going for who. You were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it. I mean, for an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He took me over the counter.
Hold it!
Yes, I know that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Well, yeah, of course we did. I knocked over a load of books, candlestick, and some skull and whatnot. I got Tanos and Marionette, it knocked over a picture frame, it knocked them scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter? Well, big brother here went flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. That old geezer pinned him. I did, Nash, he did. If he hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blooming pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There was a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they?
Poor Mr. Winterbank, he did everything he could to protect his shop.
I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room.
Hold it!
Were you intending to shoot Mr. Winterbank? No, never. I was just, Oh, looking out for me, bravo and I. It was being fine, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes.
GMT plus 7 has gotta go. Hope Zeeks keeps the street safe from sick murders like Gina. Alright, good night, Healbot. Hope you get some sleep. Because I remember you said that you were gonna go to sleep earlier. So get some sleep, get some rest. Thank you for joining us this weekend. I appreciate it.
And then the man fled to the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through the door and shut himself in. There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true.
I wonder why Mr. Winnebago ran away into the storeroom.
What?
Well, according to what everyone's saying, Jimmy was in there waiting for him with a gun.
Oh, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Winnemag's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Winnemag's hands again?
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it?
This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. What point is me and my brother here? Oh, that's right, no, that's right, me and my brother here. We never had nothing to do with killing him. Oh, that's all what happened, I swear. You say you had nothing to do with it? Oh, nothing at all. Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shot himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was, from the inside. Hey, we know it was because we tried to open it. But it's a decent door that way, and good and strong, it wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused Miss Gina Lestrade.
Oh no! I just had a horrible idea! He went out to go stop the people who were burglaring him, went inside the storeroom, and was trying to hide. But there's the people in the storeroom door. What if he was trying to protect Gina? Like, to stop her from getting shot by them. And so that's why he had a bullet in his back. If he was crouched over her, then that would explain the entry point for the bullet. Oh no! There wouldn't be any reason for him to protect her, though. Oh my god. But maybe if he just viewed her as a random kid, like, he's spoken with her before, even if she's a pickpocket and he isn't that close with her, the logical thing to do as an adult would be to try and protect a child, right? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that could be bad. That doesn't explain how she got the gun. But that could be an explanation for how he died. Okay, what say you to that, Counsel?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly have shot Mr. Winnebank?
I mean, we have to say there could have been. It could have been one of those two. Because there's the hole in the door. We have to say it's them.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. What? Oh, what's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you'd encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Winnebank, and it's the belief the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which is locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answers to the question of who shot the man could there be?
Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of 2 conundrums.
2, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe.
Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Understood, my lord.
Are you alright, Runo?
I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where the person could have fired the gun.
They would have to be right outside the door.
Take that!
The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question, assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time?
Take that!
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Wintermate died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you're adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, I pulled my gun on him and then he legged it through that door into the back room. If Mr. Wintermate ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. Oh! It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Yeah!
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial?
Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself.
Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Of course, he would have been leaning forward as he was running away, so even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory.
So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Wintermate.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You'll claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? Oh, but, why someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside? Gina. She was trying to defend herself.
Take that!
Okay, so maybe my theory about like going through the peephole was way off base, because this is now sounding plausible. That he was just shot as he was going in, Gina panicked and locked the door and closed it to try and keep them out. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered a sealed room. For what possible reason? Such action will only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel? Yes, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it? Half-baked notions have replaced my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
It does?
Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they?
Oh yes, obviously! Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Wintermate were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Wintermate must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's bro. If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Wintermate fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where you're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Wintermate. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it. in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on. We never shoot no one. That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my known eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. There is only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Oh, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. You brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Winamake's murder. Yeah. But where does this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. Look as shady as that dense forest.
That was amazing, Bruno. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
I know, first time ever, and probably the last.
Well, I think you've done it. Surely they have to give a verdict if not.
An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing. You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zieks? I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive. I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your own logic's failing? I'd say, Lord Van Zieks. It might be an idea to explain this belly conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground, huh? The fatal flaw in my little friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Bam. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets!
Oh dear. He noticed then.
Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel! Yes, sir? Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to pass through his body to strike the calendar. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Winterbank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that if a single bullet is fired from the brother's gun and hit Mr. Sholmes, it means Winterbank not shot by the same gun. Stop! Only 1 bullet, stop! Exactly. Yes, this sneak-witted street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Huh. Ah!
There's a 3rd gun. There's a 5th person.
Order! Order!
Pachoo!
I love the crashing noise when the wine bottle breaks. It's very fun.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Into the public gallery? People are getting hit by those glass shards, my lord! Oh, Jesus! Don't do that to people! Lord Van Zieks! But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No. A person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc? I'll be taking that, whatever it is, Mr. McGilda's down to the yard. Thank you very much. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine! I'm sorry, miss. If anything belonging to McGilda, it has to be taken in as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc. Mr. McGilda's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winterbank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. It would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's character. Goodness? Lord Van Zieks, Inspector Gregson, what? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that this wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the Inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Von Zieks at all. I'm unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions right from the top. Government bigwigs are insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed, bailiff. Music box disc has been entered into the court record. Mechanical disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. Sorry, a metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. On the reverse side is a note that reads "formerly gilded." The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Before we do that, let me just take a look at the disc.
Oh, you know what?
Hey, Iris, real quick.
Oh, Bruno, look! This is blood!
Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before.
Aha, then it's my time to shine again! I thought I'd be waiting forever! Alright, hold still with that disc, Bruno!
Can we get this done quickly, Iris?
In a flash!
Green. We've seen that before.
Oh, a lovely bright shade again!
Wait. That color.
What is it?
It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it?
The blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record. Excellent. You're doing the sweeping bow, I understand.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once, and for all of 5 minutes.
Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Bruno.
My lord? What if I might say something at this point? I proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been something about in a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden... The answer's probably obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh, no. Very well. The court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
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 Away they go! I'm fucking coming for you, Mr. Eggert Benedict. Whoever you really are.
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. Oh, how dare he use it against us?
Don't worry, Iris, I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Garrett Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions.
Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens.
As only 2 bullets were found at the crime scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted.
You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Each way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. Oh, never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see him in for a busy day ahead. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
Oh, you'll be helpful then.
It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. When that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more. The whole courtroom is turning against me.
It's not fair.
Iris?
The prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past doesn't make her a murderer.
Allow me to savor this fruity vintage, while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debates on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually. That's enough preamble. Counsel, pursue the summation examination.
Ah, yeah. That cheek slaps.
Yes, my lord.
There he is, in the corner again, the little short man. Oh, somebody help him.
The defense's rebuttal.
Alright, press and everything.
Hold it!
Just because Mrs. Strahd has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder? Is that what you're saying? Well. Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Well, yes, my point there, I suppose. Let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it. When you say that she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this? Exactly. I tried to sweep that only a day earlier. Am I mistaken? Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that.
I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it.
Oh yes, of course. Mr. Sholmes did use his camera box to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe.
We still don't know what tune it plays though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy.
McGillicud's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail.
Already did that. No problem, game.
It's only 2 bullets were found at the scene. I would say the whole case is done and dusted.
Hold it!
Is the number of bullets that has you convinced?
Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings.
Well, that's logical, I suppose.
Although,
Yes?
sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china.
Does your employer dine with thieves?
So I suppose, if there was another bullet somewhere, of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position.
A third bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible?
Not on the scene. I'm thinking it's in Sholmes because he had surgery. There's no reason for him to be operated on unless they had to remove the bullet.
Fortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during the investigation.
Yes, I know.
Right.
But I don't imagine the good men of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed the bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt.
And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps? It sounds like a crime scene to me.
A third bullet.
It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it?
Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere?
You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Yeah, every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. So if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures, a left eye and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions. Like this. So if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them? I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming to focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. Oh, never mind, that simple operation will cause me such grief. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Oh, well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it is nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, who were you operating on? What was the fellow's name now? Herlick? No, Herlock? No, Hairlock? Herlock Sholmes by any chance? Oh, yes, good lord. He was our Hairlock fellow. What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? Ah, that's right, using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you. This is crazy. Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and I couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to state the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting? Counsel for defense is correct, as is clearly shown in this photographic print. Both of the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region. The bullet of the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall, where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem 3-dimensionally. Huh, what do you think I am, son? Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Are you saying that you checked his back? Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign the bullet had left the body at all. What? That's the point! The logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards, which is exactly what I said about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery? It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together.
The mystery of where that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one? Accused attempted a theft on the previous day. You can see I'm in for this day ahead.
What do you mean? You're in for a busy day. Forgot to say, stop. Excuse me, stop. I'm a communications officer. Stop. A communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world? Thousands of miles of cables under the sea. Stop. Worldwide communication network. Stop. Information transmitted to and from all corners of the globe. Stop. Ah, yes, she was getting equally worked up about radio waves or the like before, wasn't she? I specialize in communicating information from government departments and newspaper offices. I see. I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports today's guilty verdicts later. No sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There's nothing I do not know about guns. I thought you were just a tourist. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. There's no way. He's just a visiting tourist. So you're a ballistics expert? Who knew? I have much experience with guns. Oh. I have lived through many. How do you say? Extreme, violent, bath of, no. Blood of,
Extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps?
that was extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know. No mystery I cannot solve. He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But if possible, please, only a Russian language.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he?
No, still we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. Van Zieks has managed to convince everyone.
And you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't!
If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again.
Alright. Done and dusted, done stereoscope. So I think we need to pit you against you because we need to know about the bullet.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Ooh, a ballistics expert. Pitting. P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers, but since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Vila. Pleased to meet you. This apparent contradiction of the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along Mountain Road in freezing cold. Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental notes, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. And the situation was very similar to what I heard today from the doctor. I could not find a bullet in my body, and no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? Bullets never hit me. Oh, if it never hit you, why did you fall down? Bullet had frozen wall of ice, very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. And my deep wound looks just like bullet wound. Good gracious! Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me, and not the solution to Mr. Disappearing Bullet. But that doesn't answer the question at all! Huh? The shooting happened in a pawnbroker's shop, not some snowy mountain road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here.
I know. Where exactly was Hurley shot again?
Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think.
Well, that's precisely why he always wears a little pouch on his belt.
A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that.
Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations.
What? Really? Doctor, where was the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Oh, well, that fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may, my Van Zieks. Well, I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination. I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah, thank goodness. I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all of the evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well. Well, extremely unconventional during a summation examination. I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch. Oh, I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it? Look at that! One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded. Exploded? So that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And it's the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. At least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man. Thank you very much. Glad I could help. Due to bang on the conundrum just solved, the court sequestered the scruffy pouch as evidence. Harley's pouch isn't scruffy! Sholmes' pouch had been entered into the court record. The pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing around the waist at the time of the shooting, one of the glass files is smashed and there are scorch marks around it. Now, in summation examination, it would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion. Huh? Let me just double check this. Oh, goodness. Oh! Hi there. I saw the burn and was immediately like, oh dear, that's bad. Guess where the bullet is. It's really scorched badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken, look! This must be where the bullet hit, then. Let me see. Let's do the vial first. This vial has been smashed to pieces. Presumably, this is where the bullet struck. As soon as the bullet hit the chemical in that vial, there would have been a really big explosion. A big explosion? Well, Holly's potions and chemicals are amazingly useful for the investigation work he does, but they're also quite tricky to handle. Safely, at least, they're very dangerous. Oh. I'm sure that when this vial broke, the chemical inside would have ignited. A note to self, always walk on the right-hand side of Sholmes in the future. The left is the danger zone. Oh, look, there's a hole in here at the back. Doesn't look like a bullet hole, but clearly there's something ripped through the leather with great force. Something must have pierced it somehow to let this hole behind. Yes, looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? Alright, hello, bullet. Or can I examine these? These glass vials are full of Hurley's homemade potions. Homemade? Yes, like fingerprint powder to show up where people have touched things, and scent amplifying solution to intensify a smell when on an object. There we go. That's amazing. They're all very easy to use. There's just one thing that you have to be careful of. They're all very flammable. Mr. Sholmes is a walking bomb. Either he's passionate about finding out the truth or just oblivious to the dangers. Now he knows. Alright, give me this bullet. What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was, do you see it? That's the Skulkin brothers' bullet! What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch! This is an amazing discovery. What this means is, there were 3 bullets fired at Winnipegs that night! I found exactly what the juror was talking about! The 3rd bullet! It's time to press that juror again, I think. The bullet has been entered into the court record. That projectile that was discovered in Mr. Sholmes' pouch, it caused one of the files to explode, injuring Mr. Sholmes. Rotate it. Oh, is that a burn, perhaps? It's the bullet that was fired from the Skulkin brothers' gun on the night of the incident. Yes, so it turns out it never actually entered Hurley's body at all. Thanks to the thick leather that pouch he was wearing, it saved him. Hurley's always lucky like that. Well, considering what he had to go through in hospital, I wonder how lucky he really was. Oh, dear, poor Hurley. Alright, that should be it, I think. Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around, somehow. I'm sure of it.
Alright. To you, I present. I guess. I think it'd be these two, because then I can present the bullet and be like, ah, surprise, there's a third bullet. No, actually, maybe I should press him again. Press. Just in case.
Then I ask you to reconsider your leaning, sir. Oh, no, that's another matter entirely. Sorry? All I can think about for the moment is this wonderful sense of relief I have that the mystery is solved. I need some time to let that sink in before I could possibly consider anything else. Alright. I thought surgeons had to be able to think quickly.
Perhaps we should leave him alone for now while he serves his inner peace and focus on some of the other jurors.
I suppose we'll have to. I wish I had the chance to experience inner peace sometimes.
Okay, if that's the case, then maybe we're supposed to pit her. Because I can't present here. Well, actually, no. Maybe I'm supposed to press her. Because I think there was a dialogue prompt earlier, wasn't there?
Hold it!
Let's go through it. Ontological, though. After dining. Another bullet. Could that be possible? I can prove it.
Allow me to show you then. The third bullet.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question, Winnebago's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
What is this new trickery, Onipani's conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital, and since then it has been touched by no one. Do you mean to say? A shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night. Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Ah. 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that Mr. Winnebank and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. Huh. But that must mean... That's right. We now know on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene, and until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Ugh. Ugh. Order! Order! While this summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter! What? Bailiff! Bring the witnesses back to the stand at once!
Hi, Gregson. Man, now that I know that it's not just a bunch of potatoes there, and it's actual fish and chips, I keep wanting fish and chips! Ugh!
Witnesses? Governor!
Were you listening to proceedings while the defense carried out summation examination?
Oh, we was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we can dispense with a tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A 3rd bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? I make of it, Gov. I don't make nothing of nothing if I can help it. Is it one of yours? Go blimey, Gov. Go blimey, not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? Hey, what? Never. The Skulkin brothers work alone. It's the 2 of us. That's a trademark. How soon we forget poor Silky? Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originate from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Let me. That's a head scratcher. Counsel for the defense. Yes. I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet and a mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this third bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers.
I don't think they had an accomplice. I think they had someone telling them what to do. Whoever Egbert Benedict is, he must be behind all this. Or alternatively, maybe he's not the one behind it. There could be some other third party directing all of these themes to this one shop for some reason. I don't know. Because the manuscript is there. Maybe there's something else. Were they looking maybe for that small box Miss McGilded had forfeited to the shop? That could be it. They're looking for Miss McGilded, whatever he was hiding in that box. That's what they want. This is all centering around him. So there's some sort of third party directing these thieves to try and go after this place. And Egbert Benedict is one of them, I think. Here comes a GMT +9. Oh, hello, Shul! Welcome in! I don't think they had a secret accomplice. I think it's had nothing to do with them because they have some sort of third party boss or something like that.
I believe it has nothing to do with them. Sure. That's right. Yeah, nothing to do with us, Gov. We've established that one bullet is fired from each of the two guns already known to the court. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that on the night in question at Miss Winmake's pawnbrokery, there was another person present in possession of a third firearm. Whilst the brothers may have had nothing to do with the third gun or the bullet fired from it, it's inconceivable that they had nothing to do with the third man. Yes, the brothers were working with an accomplice who was carrying a gun. An accomplice, you say? Pig's will. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has been not a murmur of a third man. This apparently wraith-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of a crime. And secondly, the identity of the spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel, I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity even. In response to the prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is
ready to present answers.
The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene?
We want... where is it? Blood samples portfolio.
There's evidence right here, in this portfolio. By Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it?
No. Yes. The green blood. Well, actually, Well, that disc was not related to the night, so I think it has to be this one.
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. That's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain? Green blood. Curious even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. By the great detective! You mentioned stop, not yet appeared in story stop.
It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This Fulgur sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is.
Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom. Stop. Very exciting. Stop. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windibank. Striking blue. Yes. So you see, the green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now, what fire the young man could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windibank was killed. By golly. Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. Then whose blood is it? Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? You!
Take that!
Mr. Eggs Benedict. I want eggs. I want fish and chips. I want a lot of things. The man's name is Eggert Benedict. Eggert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, Consul? He paid a visit to Windibank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing an article in her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Eggert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Broker? Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you now. Oh, yes, the article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say... Any music box discs, too.
Forgot to ask her, Ursula, how's your day been? We've had a lot of people stopping by. It's been a peaceful Sunday for a lot of people.
Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you corroborate this account, Inspector? Yeah, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And interested being thorough, I asked Windibank for a print showing the fellow. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder governnesses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windibank that morning. And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Skulkin. Never seen this geezer before in my life! On my life, Gov, on my life, never seen him. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears that witnesses disagree with the assertion. I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nibonese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can. And show us the evidence! I agree.
We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is.
This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom.
Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel?
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in this photographic print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet.
Back in here.
The proof is right here in this portfolio. Good gracious, counsel. Does that portfolio contain the answers to every question posed? I see you share my interest in claret-colored liquids, my Nibonese friend. But... enough. The court demands to see further evidence. Which blood sample proves the man you identified was the one shot by the third bullet at the scene of the crime?
Not that one, but this one.
Take that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, The defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Mr. Windibanks, which is when the aforementioned Edgar Benedict appeared from the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. Well, of course, sir. Here's the disc for you. Very well. And I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. A resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness! A bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom.
Using my trusty Folker gun.
Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. I say, it's green! It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Edgar Benedict, who was in Windibanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime the same night. So there's someone else there. Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets. What are you talking about? It's boiling in here. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Edgar Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now, this flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection of some such. And now you employ the chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What's of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Well... Leggy! And pray do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish? I don't know. I mean, he is a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have?
I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Good grief. Well, what did you say, young girl?
And in the summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now.
Yes, she's right. Young lady, you have quite the devious mind.
It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something?
Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with.
Iris Wilson, sharpshooter.
After that, Shrewd presses the situation from an entirely unexpected source. It must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to a fair and just conclusion. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Guilty.
Guilty!
Not guilty.
The face plant again. Oh, I love that animation.
2 call for guilty and 4 call not guilty, such as the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zieks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue. Ah! Ah! Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name the gentleman gave for himself, Edgar Benedict, is quite clearly false. I don't believe it. Just when I managed to prove the man was there that night.
Can I say something?
Who was that, please? Who spoke? It was me, my lord. Juror number 5? What have you to say, madam? If possible, Inspector. Me, ma'am. I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again? The one in which the gentleman is shown? Right, yes, this one you mean? Mr. Benedict? Yes. There's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say... You know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No. Good gracious! Order! Order! Juror number 5, how on earth? I'm a communications officer, stop. As we can clearly see, the gentleman in the photograph is, stop. Also, communications officer, stop. He works in my office. A very talented operator, in fact, stop. He should be in the communication station now, stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right.
I suppose we all imagine the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day. What if he gets up to at night?
Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Zieks, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson. Yes, my lord. I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbroker in the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned till 1:40 p.m. Oh, it's been almost 4 hours.
To be continued. We are definitely saving. I took that one hit, but otherwise it was a pretty clean run. Trial part 3! 17th of April, 12:41 p.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber.
Gina, how are you holding up? I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now.
Jenny! Are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything?
What's the point, eh? Why go to all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me?
What?
You saw it? The picture! What picture?
You mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder?
Well, I didn't
think you would catch a scene like this, that's for sure.
It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that's gonna think I did it, ain't they? Well, I wouldn't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. Surely you've got to have your doubts about me now. You can't still say I'm innocent. Of course I can.
Jenny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Who knows, cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear it from you.
Alright. Alright then. It was after we'd had that dinner together at your place, right, Iris? And we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yes, I remember. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep, so I slipped out and went down to the street to the 2-1, to Windibank's place. I had to know if Iris' story was there or not. If Iris' story was there or not, the Hound of the Baskervilles. I don't know what it's about or nothing, but if you ask me, it's something that Sholmes don't like. Something what he don't want people reading. So that's why I lied to Iris about sticking it in a log with Windibank for safekeeping. At least, that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Windibank's. I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all that was going to kick off, did I? Struck the lock, snuck inside, as dark as you like in there, so I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of a wick, and that's when... What do you think you're doing? Oh! I nearly died, I did. And next thing I knew... I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like... I don't know what. You're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets went in for armed robbery. The mantle script, have you got it here? Did Sholmes leave a load of papers with you? A story? I beg your pardon? Hound of the something or other. It's here, I want to see it. I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it! What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see it's here, that's all. Oh, you want to see it, do you? I don't know if Sholmes really pawned it or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go. Very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you? So then the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. And it was there alright. A mantle script. Sholmes weren't mine after all.
You did all that just to check for me, Janine?
Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of shop. Skulkin brothers arriving on the scene, yes. What was that noise? Someone's breaking in! Dear me, is there some bogus convention here tonight that I don't know about? I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry. I better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back? Oh well, I'll come with you and... Now, don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances. Out of that, he took the gun out of my hands and walked back out into his shop. I hung back in the storm like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, see? So I was just about to go out the storeroom myself when... Bang, bang. 2 shots. I had a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And then there he was, right at my feet. Lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like. Because he thought whoever shot Mr. Windibank might come for you. Yeah, so I went to grab the old cove's gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Windibank was a goner. I felt funny in my head all of a sudden. Kinda dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing. That must be when you passed out, Gina. If I hadn't done what I'd done, the old cove might still be alive. Did you tell the police everything you just told us? Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me.
It'll be alright, Janine. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Brenda's about to put the real culprit through the mill.
That cove what was there in the afternoon? That Edgar Benedict? I still remember how he looked at me. Like I was nothing. He was there that night. We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty. You what?
You can leave it all in Bruno's capable hands now, Ginny.
Mr. Naruto. Yes? How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, I forgot what happened here before. Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGilded. I told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the bog trolled off of them, even though he was a killer. No, I could never forget that. Oh. I did what I thought was best at the time, but the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what. But what if I'm lying? Maybe we're gonna get another kill off the hook for all you know. I was once in your position, Gina. I was accused in a trial. You were? Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who'd done it. Oh, Bruno. But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Yonosuke, no one believes you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest. I was so happy I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute, unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute, unwavering belief in him.
Fellas, is it gay to talk about the man who defended you in court and be like, ever since he did that for me, my life has been changed? Fellas?
Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first. What are you saying? I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down. Even though I'm a diver. And a no-good liar? You're not like McGilded. I know that. Huh?
That's right. You're a friend, Ginny.
Iris? We know you better than you think. We've come to the conclusion that you are someone we can trust.
Yes,
That's really all we need to know.
exactly.
Mr. Naruto, I... Defendant Gina Lestrade and her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please head to the courtroom immediately. Yes, of course. Thank you.
Oh, Gina, you're so cute. I just want to pat you on the head.
I've been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time, so I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last. The final chapter. The final battle. Wish me luck, Susato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too, partner.
Eyeball.
th of April, 1:41 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. Yep, come on.
I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Von Zeeks, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? Subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. I see. Let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's process of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bulletin report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Yes, I can only apologize, my lord.
Although defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom.
Huh! It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake.
My lord, a subpoena witness has just arrived in the building. Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Eggert Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon, and certainly not like this.
There we go, the lineup.
Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at such short notice, sir. But of course, my lord, as an upstanding member of London society, it's my pleasure to oblige. Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record. Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer.
Mr. Great and I both work at London Central Communications Station.
Now perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about. You were apprised of the situation about the court officer on your way here, I presume? Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question. That is the accusation indeed.
Oh, Rudy, hello! How you doing? Welcome in. We're in the final part of the court trial for Case 5. I'm very sorry. You've missed quite a bit. Recap for anybody who has been missing information. I'm playing Trails into Reverie, no worries. Oh, perfect. How is it? That just released a couple days ago, right? Or was it a week by now?
That guy's the culprit? Oh, absolutely. He's the fucking culprit. We've narrowed down all the options. We just pulled him in. I don't know the case. He just looks suspicious, doesn't he? More suspicious than the little lads to the left of him. He has a look that screams, I'm a killer, right? You want to make me the criminal? Yup. This really is beyond a joke, you know. But yes, oh right, recap. Gina Lestrade was charged of the murder of a pawnbroker after we had a scuffle in the pawn shop that day over a coat and a disc. And so we've been going through the trial, and there were some goons who were trying to rob the place at the time, and they shot Mr. Sholmes and then left. And so we spent a whole bunch of time cross-examining them and trying to get the truth out of them. And it turns out they weren't the only ones there, and we have identified the blood stain on the calendar as the same blood that was on the music disc when Mr. Eggert Benedict, or as we now know him to be named, Ashley Graydon, when he tried to take the disc from Gina. So it's incredibly likely that he is the killer because there was a third bullet at the crime scene, even though there was previously only 2 shots mentioned. It is almost certainly him, whatever gun he had at the time. Yep, still the pawnbroker case. Very well, without further delay, the court will hear testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath. God. The movements. Gladly, my lord, gladly.
The accusation.
Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting that I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some Scaramouche detectives' home-brewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. So, you deny the accusation completely, do you? I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by the self-professed detective's toy. Animated body movement from Graydon seemed like they always want to show off what kind of animation they could do with this new tech. Yeah, for sure. They just all around when the animations of this game have just been spectacular. It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. By golly! How long am I expected to be detained here? If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately. Good, then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation, at least. Let's not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination. So, We meet again, Mr. Egbert Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies, you are. Yunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met. If you say so, Ashley Graydon, Enchante. So. Ooh. Ah. I trust we can conclude this quickly. But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do.
Continuing on the tradition of having things thrown at the defense. Excellent. Honestly, I'm really surprised Van Zieks hasn't thrown the wine glasses or wine bottles at us. I was really expecting that. Instead, he just throws it into the jury. Not the jury, the public gallery behind him. Or the flames. The accusation. Not should have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time.
Hold it!
Oh, I didn't turn him out like, free hat, thanks. No, it doesn't match what we're wearing. It'd clash really badly.
Yes, we have met in the very pawnbrokery where the crime took place in the afternoon the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. It was Mr. Egbert Benedict, I believe.
Objection!
The witness is here to testify about events that took place that night. He is under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions. You can't be serious. Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question. So he's going to be evasive, is he? In an effort not to give anything away. This could be tricky.
Cash it out in public. No, the most trusted safekeeping place. Yes, indeed. So secure that there was a fucking murder in that building. Wahoo.
Are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder?
Hold it!
Have you seen these two men before? This pair? No, I don't associate with criminals. Said by a man who introduced himself as Egbert Benedict. I'd like to know who I have to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation against me? The young lawyer there in the black. This is a farce. Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway? Well, needless to say, I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Where were you around 1 in the morning on the night in question, sir? That was past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions. Are you able to prove that?
Objection!
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend, for you appear to be under a gross misapprehension on this point. What do you mean? The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has an obligation to prove his absence, if your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene. The obligation lies with you to prove your assertion. You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions to the witness. A silent victory, Wiggle. Thanks.
The wiggle is so fucking goofy.
Even if certain parties were here present, claiming that my blood was found at the scene. Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholm's chemical analysis had positively identified the substance as such. But I am not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. Every individual blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholm's chemical is able to differentiate different blood samples by... Spare me the science lesson! Who is this Sholm's character anyway? Oh, I assume the Londoners would know the name. He's a renowned detective. So even you're unable to bring yourself to say great detective. A great detective, you say? Now in the realm of fairy tales, are we?
Excuse me!
You, what do you have to say?
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin? Hey, what? Me? No, Mr. Skulkin next to you. Alright, I've had up to here with this. How many times have I got to tell you? Yes, I know, you're not Big Bruv Soki. Mr. Nash Skulkin. Core blimey, Governor. You what?
You know, blood DNA tech was available during this time era. Only if you're Mr. Sholmes. Everybody else doesn't think it's worth it, or, like, viable evidence. Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Would you care to share that thought with the court? Hey, my thoughts? I would have none of them. It must have been him. Hey, you what? Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke? Nothing. Honest God, nothing. I was just thinking, if he waves his arm around like that much more, it'll open up the wound again, that's all. What wound? Why you take the bullet, of course? It was only 2 days ago. It ain't gonna be healed up yet. So I was, well, you know, I was worrying for him and... Oh, hell's bells. Mr. Graydon, did you hear that? What? Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord. Yes, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely in the upper arm or thereabouts. Perhaps you'd allow a court official to examine your arm, sir? The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand, as if in pain? No, I refuse. You have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Accordingly, I'm not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy. As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved. You couldn't have had nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Winbake's pawnbrokery. My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony. Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon. The bottom line is I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. Where's the fucking photo? Somebody give me the photo. We don't have it in our court record. God damn it. Alright, we'll press this, see if it gives us anything.
Hold it!
Never had anything to do with it. You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I'm not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my study. No, you're there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right? Excuse me.
Activated Naruhodo's trap card. Yes, he did. Do you have something to add, Inspector? Oh, come again, Sunshine? You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon. Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbroker's afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, as I recall. And at that time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article. Well now. I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly. What? But you must. I'm not going to lie and pretend I remember something that I don't. What's going on here?
Crunchy showed us a picture before, didn't he? No, from the cameras that Hurley installed in Winterbanks.
Yes, of course. Indeed. Gentleman picture bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say. There's some delicious fish and chips there.
I know! Every time I see it makes me want some! Ugh, it's been a while since I had any. It's kind of heavy, but it's really good. Well, assuming the breading doesn't get all soggy. The one time I did have fish and chips in the past couple months, it got all soggy. It was kind of unfortunate, but I want a nice and crispy fish and chips. Ugh.
Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop on the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. I merely entered the shop to peruse the articles on sale and have a word with the broker. Nothing more. This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover his tracks.
But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened? That's all he's going to say on the matter, is it?
What do you think, Bruno?
I think he has no intention of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has of giving himself away.
Complete opposite of Hurley, then. He seems to think that the more he says, the better.
Well, at least I managed to prize a little more information from these witnesses' lips. All thanks to the Skulkin brothers.
Yes, they were the key to it after all.
So he says he had nothing to do with the Windibanks. Well, we know that's not true.
Perhaps now would be a good time to have a proper look through the court record.
Good idea. You never know what tiny scrap of information could become a valuable weapon.
Let's see. Perhaps I should present the disc. Because we don't have the print that he was there. Autopsy report, manuscript, representation papers. That's a ticket. The other ticket owned by the victim, Mr. Windibank, but identified as Mr. Mason. Could we potentially trick him up into recognizing the ticket? Maybe that's too far of a stretch. I think we should present the disc. Let's see, notation, admitting such an outrageous accusation. Homebrew tincture considered taken as serious evidence. There had anything to do with the Palmbrook establishment where the man was killed. Now we're gonna present the disc. I think that's a safer bet.
Objection!
Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon?
Why? Is it supposed to mean something?
This disc was until the day of his murder in pawn in Mr. Windibank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I've reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. It may have escaped your notice, but there is a small smear of blood on the disc. Oh, yes, resulting from an abrasion of the thumb, perhaps? That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations.
Be right back. Alright. I'll see you when you get back, Rudy.
So, while the disc bears the remnants of that skirmish in the form of the smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also, in the form of a scratch. Oh, good gracious, indeed it must. Mr. Graydon, you refused to allow a court officer to examine your arm before. Are you not going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with the smear of blood on this disc. Well. It would seem I underestimated you. Well, what is the meaning of this? So you admit it now? You admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant. Order! Order! Well, Mr. Graydon! It would appear there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own out of pawn? What? It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. As you wish, though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder. So you think...
Hang on, I'm gonna have a little bit of fish crackers because I'm hungry. All this talk of fish and chips has got me hungry. Oh, I'll move from here. Oh, I'm gonna need a snack after this. Okay, had some water. Let's go. The disc.
There's a note on the disc saying, "For McGilded, but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on that day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night.
Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilded, you say? The famous London philanthropist. Who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of a distinctly messy murder.
Yes, my lord, the one and the same.
Good lord, Mr. Graydon! Are you saying that Miss McGilded and yourself were acquainted?
Yes, that's correct.
Order? Well, haven't played this game yet, so I'm just here to say hi and lurk. Hope you're enjoying the game. Oh, hello, Amelia! I am enjoying it. Thank you very much for stopping in. I'm sorry you're coming in at, like, right when it's getting really tense at the end of the final case of the first game. If you do ever intend on playing it, sorry for the spoilers. How have you been, Amelia? It's been a little bit.
Certainly didn't expect to hear that name out of here in my courtroom again. According to what Gina told us, this was placed in pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. Mr. McGilded himself gave instructions to deposit it at Windibanks.
It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him then, isn't it?
In all likelihood, he's lying. See, he appeared that afternoon at Windibanks in order to get his hand on McGilded's disc for some reason. Counsel, you'll commence your cross-examination, please.
Tried to catch my streams, but I couldn't the last weekends. Thank you! Thank you, I appreciate it, Amelia. How have your streams been going? Are you still playing Volcano Princess? I haven't had the chance to stop by yours either. I'll reach stream to not get spoilers. I'm getting the game on summer sale. Oh, excellent idea. Okay, sounds good. I hope you have fun when you do play it. It's a great game. You're the worst streamer ever. Wait, do you like jump between games or something? Technically, having variety is better than just playing one game at a time like I've been doing. There's a note on the disc saying from McGilded, but the item belongs to you. Tell me more, sir. Don't stream often, but you do jump from game to game. Oh, I see. Oh, I will have to remember to give you a follow at some point, so I can try and catch you when you're streaming. There's so many people who are streamers as well in my viewers. I always feel bad when I can't go see them. I'll leave you to it. You got it! Have fun doing whatever you're doing! I do hope you enjoy the game eventually when you get it, Amelia. Nah, I intended on doing it anyway. I just keep forgetting because I haven't seen your name in a little bit. So I will get going on that at some point.
Alright, would you care to explain how this belongs to you? As you will observe, a communications officer such as myself commands a fine salary. You are certainly exquisitely dressed, sir. So you see, I have little need to make use of the services provided by pawnbrokery trade. However, I did once find myself in difficulties, having misplaced my purse whilst on an errand, which is why I pawned my fine black overcoat to the broker in question. You claim that was your overcoat? Obviously, and in my haste, I clean forgot that the music box disc was in its pocket. And yet there was a note on it that reads, for McGilded. I'm a collector of rare and unusual music box discs. A music box music, there we go. I first met McGilded at a gentleman's club in the city, and was interested to discover that he shared my penchant in that area. So, the disc in question? It's a pre-production sample. I promised to let Miss McGilded hear it. But then you forgot that it was in the pocket of the overcoat you were forced to pawn. Yes, exactly.
Gina didn't mention any of that in her testimony 2 months ago, did she?
No, because McGilded had threatened her to keep her mouth shut. Which means that if we dig too deeply here, it's going to expose Gina's perjury.
Oh dear, this is complicated, isn't it?
Let's leave it alone for the time being. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy guttling, on the day in question. So you're saying that Miss Lestrade lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag? That's right. Despite being mindful of danger when walking this insalubrious areas here, her kind frequent. Not here, her kind. Miss Lestrade did no such thing. Well, of course you would take that stance, but the girl's a regular offender. You came to the pawnbrokery that day prepared with all the information you needed to identify the defendant. You were looking for her. That's what brought you to Windibanks. To get your hands on Miss McGilded's disc.
Objection!
My learned friend is a veritable font of nonsense. Nonsense? I can go to the prosecution. Counsel, you'll refrain from conjecturing in this way. Is that clear? Yes, my lord. And I'll continue my testimony for what possible use it can be. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. Had you ever been to Winterbanks before? Only once for the purposes of pawning something. But like many, I enjoy browsing such establishments. So when you noticed that the pickpocket had taken your ticket, you chased after her, is that correct? Yes, that's right. I didn't notice at first, of course. Such is the art of the pick purse. But when I did, I headed to the pawnbrokery at once, in order to reclaim my coat before the thief could. I was trying to recover what was rightfully mine in the first place. He can say what he likes because he knows we have no evidence to contradict him on this. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police.
Hold it!
Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? That's right. This was the very man. Apparently the police are collecting anything that has a connection to Miss McGilded as evidence.
Well, Gregson, you won't feel like talking now? Come on, man.
Is something wrong, Inspector? Well, what do you mean? The last remark Mr. Graydon made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way. Oh, no, it didn't. It's nothing. Leave it alone. Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Miss McGilded's possessions? I can't tell you something like that, Sunshine. What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets? Yes, exactly. You should know all about that. Magnus McGilded, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago. A man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life. Yet he had a dark side, too. Where are you going with this, Van Zieks? Welcome back, Rudy. I suppose police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, are they? That's enough. Coppers like me have duties to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know. Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Inspector. The bottom line is, you want to get more out of me. You're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first. What's all this about? It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Van Zieks here. Well, it would appear that the Inspector has revealed all he is at liberty to reveal. Mr. Graydon, let us return to your testimony. Gladly, my lord. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. Oh, I forgot to press. God damn it. Mr. McGill slipped the disc into his coat pocket and had it deposited at Winterbanks. Then, when he realized he was going to be arrested on suspicion of the omnibus murder, he threatened Gina and forced her to take the redemption ticket.
There's no doubt about it. That witness is lying through his pearly white teeth.
The police were obviously after anything left behind by McGill as well. That's why Inspector Gregson ended up taking the disc into custody that day.
But Gregsy's being very strange about all this.
There must be a reason for that, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. For now, I need to focus on exposing the fact that Mr. Graydon is lying in his testimony.
Okay, I forgot to do the press. Let's do the press.
In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. But perhaps you'd seen something of value among the forfeited items? No, not at all. Oh. A value was brought in by the police to assess everything in the shop. Without exception, every article on the shelves was common or got in bric-a-brac. Bric-a-brac. There we go. In that case, it's clear that you broke into the shop later that day in order to recover Miss McGill's disc. Have you not been listening, man? Even if I had wanted to recover the disc, you may recall that it had been seized by the police that afternoon. It was no more in the shop that night than as I keep saying, I simply had no reason to break in. So there was nothing Mr. McGilda's left in the shop that night. Nothing his man might have been after. I wonder if that's really true.
Or no, if you have some evidence, then let him have it. I'm dying to see that irritatingly assured expression of his crumble.
Okay, so now we can skip through this because it's the same thing, but now we can present our second ticket. There's a note saying the guild was in question, redeem article, taken by the police, absolutely no reason. Yes, you did. This is for the box.
Objection!
This test was deposited at Winnebank's on Magnus McGillicud's instructions. You knew that, and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection!
Conjecture again, and in any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbroker again that night. Sorry, my learned friend, but that's not true. What? Miss McGill had another article in pawn at Winnebank's, as this second pawnbroker's ticket proves. There were 2 articles belonging to Miss McGill in Winnebank's pawnbrokery, and the reason you broke into the shop that night was to recover the second one. Together with your 2 accomplices, the Skulkin brothers. This is the second ticket, is it? What had the man deposited? The article description reads, 1 small box. A rather vague description, it seems to me. Are you suggesting that I broke into the pawnbroker with these clowns in order to steal some trinket box? I believe that there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd. Why on earth would I do such a thing? Once the article had been forfeited, I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There would be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft. That's a good point. Indeed. Witness makes a solid argument.
So that means that for some reason, this Graydon fellow needed the small box that very night, does it?
Objection!
It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord. Could you be a little less cryptic, my Lord Van Zieks? I do hate to ruin my learned friend's argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Winnebank's pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it. What? Good gracious! Inspector, show the photographic prints to the court, if you please. Yes, sir! What prints? These prints were taken from one of the detective's security cameras.
Oh, are these red-handed recorders again?
As previously explained, using this plan of the shop layout. The victim's establishment was furnished with automatic cameras in 2 locations. One was set to capture the counter where Mr. Winnebank received his customers, and the other was set to capture the shelves on which the articles were placed for sale once forfeited. According to the information on this ticket, Miss McGill's small box had been forfeited already. 2 days before the incident at 9 p.m. 13th of April, to be precise, which means it would have been on the shelves of the forfeited items in the shop front. Now, what I have here is a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. That's at 11 p.m. on the 15th of April.
Okay.
Victim certainly had a very full shop, it would appear. And then here we have another print. This one was taken about 2 hours after the incident.
It looks basically the same again.
I see, so we have 2 pictures to compare.
Alright, let's see if I can find it without having to cross my eyes. Because it's not going to work if I cross my eyes. Oh my.
Oh my god! That's a thinker statue! Oh, that's such a dumb reference. Oh, I love it.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. A thinker statue. Wow, okay. I wonder if that's meant to be a clock too.
To me, that's starting to make my head ache. Obviously, at Scotland Yard, we considered theft as one possible motive in this case. We explored the possibility that something had been taken in addition to the victim's life. So you might already compare these 2 prints thoroughly, Inspector. Yes, sir. Counted every single item in each of these 2 photographic prints. And the yard's conclusion is that exactly the same number are present in both. In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbroker on the night in question, and my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than a hopeful fantasy. Ah! Objection, something was touched. Oh, you saw it? Oh, shit, Rudy, you got better eyes than me. I don't believe it. If I could have just shown that he'd stolen Miss McGilda's pawn box. The victory wiggle. I might have been able to break him down at last.
You know what, Runo? I've been thinking. I wonder if these 2 photographs really are exactly the same.
Oh, I see it now. I see it now. Okay. Yep.
The one box was moved to the side, as opposed to being left right next to whatever that little white thing in the bottom right shelf is. Bottom right corner of the shelf, that is. Okay, so it's likely he didn't take the box. He opened the box and took what was inside. What? So, counsel, in the light of the evidence put forward by the prosecution, what is your position? It seems that, in fact, on the night in question, nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion? I don't know. Could there be some hidden discrepancy in these two photographic prints somewhere?
There is. Let me show you.
I wasn't sure at first, but there is a clear discrepancy between these two prints. What? You must identify the location of question for the court, counsel. Indicate the precise location and discrepancy of which you speak. Doop-a-doop, boop, 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 boop. No, come on. On the box. Come on. I will get it exact as if I need to. There we go. I think that little lock there is probably the center, but it doesn't look like the center on the cursor. So, that.
Take that!
Granted, these two prints are almost identical. However, there is one minor discrepancy between them. What? When you view the two pictures stereoscopically, I didn't do that. I just looked for something that moved. Hee hee hoo hoo. A single area stands out as being different. The location of this small box. Let me wait. Unbelievable.
Those little cross-eyes.
By Jove, you're right. How extraordinary. What this tells us is very simple. Miss McGilld's small box was indeed not stolen from one of the makes on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to its place on the shelves. Are you suggesting that the small box originally deposited by Miss McGill is in fact... Yes, the very same small box I just identified in those photographic prints.
Objection!
Mindless guesswork. What if it was? So box was moved on the shelf. Nothing was stolen. Which means, quite simply, that nothing has changed. That may be true, but... Alright, McGilda's box wasn't stolen then. But doesn't the fact that it was moved like that change things? It changes everything. I believe this changes everything about the case. How can that possibly be? The crucial point is the fact that what was moved was a small box. In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside that box. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. A vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves at Winterbanks as we speak.
Objection!
That won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial. The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Van Zieks. Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once. Obtain the small box in question and bring it back here for further examination. Ooh, the dramatic zoom ins. I'll have a little bit more goldfish while I have the chance. Oh. Okay. I finished showing my goldfish. We should have a report within half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is brought forth. To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Disappointing. I beg your pardon, Lord Van Zieks. I said nothing but a smoke screen. A Nipponese specialty, it would seem. What are you trying to say? My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning, that this witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilden from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles have value enough to be worth stealing in the first place.
Exactly. It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such commonplace property. If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGill had perished 2 months ago, immediately after the conclusion of his trial. A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which it was established he was the upstanding member of society his reputation implied, in fact. So I propose a toast to my learned friend and his most insightful defense. The articles this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of its pockets, and a small box. I assure you, I wouldn't accept even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me. I know, it does make rather a lot of sense. It's not as if it was gold or jewels, was it? Oh goodness knows Miss McGill was rich enough. But you can't deposit cash at a pawnbroker, I'm quite certain of that. Prosecution's argument is undeniably compelling. It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument. Ooh, there it goes. To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles pawned by this fine citizen could have. Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Are you able to show proof that the disc or the box are in any tangible way related to this case? Well,
What's the matter, Bruno? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence.
yes, of course. You and I both know that. We know McGill's true character. We know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that McGill's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. That the defense's argument was flawed, based on false information.
Oh no!
And that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury.
But Ginny...
Could it be that Van Zieks knows? Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything.
But maybe... this could be a great opportunity for us.
Sorry? What do you mean, Iris?
Well, what is it that you always say, Bruno? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time.
Alright, the exact significance of the things that Miss McGill deposited with Winterbank is something that only Gina can explain to the court. If I put her on the stand to testify about that, it could critically damage our chance of winning this case. What's the right thing to do here?
Come on, Gina. Trust us.
My lord, the defense would like to make a proposal. Oh, what proposal, counsel? While the court awaits the arrival of Mr. McGill's small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand. The defendant? Throw her under the omnibus. Come on, get your wording right, Rudy. To what end? It's to do with the various articles deposited at Winterbanks by Mr. McGill, my lord. Miss Lestrade has information relating to them. I believe it would be beneficial for the court to hear what she has to say. It will prove the significance of the articles in question once and for all. Well, well, things are becoming interesting. I presume you consider the implications of the testimony you're proposing, in particular the impact it will have on the accused's standing, and indeed your own. I have. Lord Van Zieks, would you care to explain that last remark? The prosecution accepts the defense's proposal. I move to interrupt the cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself. Very well, if you have no objection. So, the court will now hear the testimony of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. You witnesses currently in the stand may step down until further notice. Then I shall bid you good day. Wait. You, sir, shall remain in the stand while Miss Lestrade testifies. As you wish. All right then, Gina, it's time. I know this will be hard, but please, put your faith in me here.
Good luck, Bruno.
I mean, that was like they could be related.
The articles that Miss McGilda had deposited in Winterbank's pawnbrokery are intimately related with the omnibus case, the trial of which was heard in this courtroom 2 months ago. Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well. That's right, my lord. Her testimony helped to establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded. The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now here we all are again, the same players in that trial facing each other once more. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend. Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there was only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder. But as the trial progressed, another possibility emerged, that the murder in fact took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck, with the body then being dropped through the skylight into the carriage below. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under a seat in the carriage, hoping to pick the pockets of unsuspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Miss McGillett died in this very courtroom in most extraordinary of circumstances. A mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on, as indeed does the omnibus murder itself. Be that as it may, I recall neither the disc nor the small box being mentioned in the course of those proceedings. Miss Lestrade, would you tell the court now, please, what really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago, I mean?
I don't know what you mean. I already said all of what I know.
And what about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? Please, Miss Lestrade, this is extremely important. But remember, little girl, if it transpires that you willfully withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute you for perjury. And naturally, you'll lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts, you have little credibility to lose.
Jenny, don't listen to him! Please, you have to trust Bruno now!
Iris?
We're on your side!
Alright then. We'll talk. It's the right choice, Gina. Well, it would seem that my learned friend is hellbent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it. I must confess I'm struggling to understand what on earth is happening here. However, it would appear that Miss McGillicud's pawned articles in that extraordinary case, the omnibus, harbor secrets of which we have been hitherto unaware. So, Miss Lestrade, you will now give your testimony before the court about the events of 2 months ago. You will reveal the truth, a commodity sorely lacking in your original statements. This is it then. Everything's going to come out, like Van Ziek said. This could bring the whole courtroom down about my ears, but as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk.
I get the feeling we're so close to the end of the trial, but we only have 5 minutes left.
The real truth of the omnibus case. Truth is, the Brickmaker Cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from over my head, and that pair on the roof deck went off to call the slops. As McGill had slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard. Pen and paper tabletop gaming tonight? Technically, yes. We were going to be playing, it's a system called Mage 20th Anniversary Edition. Mage the Ascension. But we do everything digitally online using Roll20. Because nobody wants to pay for something more expensive. Good grief, this is outrageous. Well, you just told the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony 2 months ago. As you say, my lord. Then there's every chance I may have adjudicated an error in Miss McGilda's trial. Sounds very much to me as if the man deliberately deceived this court in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes. Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. Yes, the name written. So it's Mage, M-A-G-E, colon, The Ascension, A-S-C-E-N-S-I-O-N. Specifically the 20th anniversary edition, because World of Darkness as a whole is a really old tabletop setting, both about vampires and werewolves and mages, humans with magic. And so the more recent one was Mage 20th. I think they're working on a new edition now, though. But we're playing Mage 20th, as wonky as it is. There's so much good, like, flavor and lore and roleplay potential in that setting, but it's such a horribly... it's so chunky, and not chunky in a good way. It is dense, but people like dense systems. It is awful. There's way too much specificity, and then also way too much being vague. Like, they have 20 different things you can do with the brawling skill, or sorry, I think it's both brawling and martial arts. 20 different things you can do with brawling and martial arts to, like, do more damage for higher difficulties on your dice rolls. But then, when it comes to, like, what are the limits of having life 3, the third level of life magic? It's like, I don't know, you can heal other people, but you can also do some changes to the body, and just be, you know, just put it together on yourself what the limitations are. And it's like, fuck you! How are you supposed to DM that? I say after DMing a game in that system for like a year and a half. Mage 20th. Mage 20th, everyone. Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great justice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. The actions of the accused in that trial of this witness and of my learned friend are entirely inexcusable. Thank goodness D&D 5e is simple. Yes, thank goodness D&D 5e is simple. I mean, it's not that simple compared to other systems, but like compared to what 3.5 used to be, D&D used to be with 3.5, and like a lot of other systems, like D&D is actually quite simple. Wrong, the lawyer. Mr. Naruto, the lawyer over there. He didn't know nothing about it. Humbug!
I don't think so. I really expected to believe that.
He really stitched everyone up, didn't he? What an operation to get the man off scot-free. Unforgivable. Stop. I just have to stop. Yes, the defense made a terrible error of judgment. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it's imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on her testimony, because the true significance of Mr. McGilda's pawned articles must be brought to light. Very well, my learned student friend. Given the depths of calamity you have just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing. Words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. Blimey, Mr. Naruhodo. Now the council. Proceed with the cross-examination.
Alright. Unfortunately, this is where we're gonna have to end it off. I wasted too much time chit-chatting, I guess. Next time, we will pick up where we left off and finish off Case 5 of the first game of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And then from that point on, we will just jump straight into the second game, because I have been greatly enjoying this, and I can't wait to see what comes of it, because I heard the second game is just like, it drops you straight into it, hits the ground running, no like, oh, this is how trials work. It just picks up with the story. So I'm very excited for what's coming. For now, though, I'm going to hit back, exit game, and on this quiet moment, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you very much for watching today, guys. I appreciate you all being here. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next weekend for more. Have a good evening.